Okay, everybody, welcome back. What I wanted to do now is give you a bit of an orientation to Canvas. I'm not going to go through the entire product, but I am going to go through what you need to know to be successful in a blended course, which again, this is a blended course. So we want to be clear what we're responsible for in the Canvas system as opposed to what you're responsible for when we meet face-to-face. So just to review, in a blended course, you have a combination of face-to-face meetings, which for this particular class is every Wednesday, but the week of July 27th, from 1:30 to 3:30. So we're going to meet 11 times in the 12-week term, every Wednesday, 1:30 to 3:30, except July 29th, okay? And so we'll meet only for 2 hours each week, which means you'll need to spend the additional 2 hours that you would normally spend in class in the Canvas system, and that will be a combination of reading through the modules, working through any lessons or videos that are supplied to you, reading your textbook, and then working on and submitting your assignments. And then in weeks where we have exams, you'll be submitting an exam in the Canvas system. So that's kind of the format. I just want to make sure you understand where to get to those things in the product, okay? So the first thing you want to do, obviously, is log in to Canvas. Keep in mind that my view is going to look just slightly different than yours, but on average, you should be able to follow along. And certainly if you have your laptops available to you right now, go ahead and fire those up and kind of follow along as well. I find it's always helpful to practice active learning when you're trying to learn a new system. And actually, we're going to talk about learning in this particular class. So with that said, here's your homepage for psychology. There's a nice big button here that says start here, which is usually a good place to start. But I do want to just kind of quickly go over this navigation here on the left-hand side. And so modules, by far the most important piece of navigation in Canvas. And you are going to have a module for every week. We are going to go through this Start Here module together today. But also know that every single week in this course, you will have a module available to you in Canvas. Week 1, week 2, week 3, notice the trend. And the nice thing about these modules is not only does it tell you what you're looking at, so this is your introduction for the week, it shows you what your written assignments are, if there's a quiz, and then it also shows you your due dates and the point value. Okay, so very helpful for you to understand what is asked of you in that particular week, and this is how you do that. Okay. So that being said, each week has a different module. I am going to click through week 1 in just a moment, but I do want to just make sure that you know that you can scroll through this at any time and see what's ahead. Again, all of your due dates and all of your point values are here. All you have to do is click on one of these if you're curious, and or if you were in week 4, you would obviously click on week 4, okay? So that's modules. We're going to come back to that in just one second. The second thing that I think is important for you to see is the syllabus page. Of course, Abby handed out a hard copy of the syllabus to you today, which is kind of my contract with you throughout the term, so do hang on to that. But if you ever lose it, you can download a physical copy right here by clicking on this hyperlink, and then you can print that out. But the cool thing about Canvas is you also have what we call an interactive syllabus here in the product. So you can see for every due date what is required of you. So your assignment, quizzes, short answers, what have you, with the clear due date here. And you can click right through to this assignment from the interactive syllabus. Also over here in the right-hand corner, there's a calendar, as well as it shows you the grade weightings for this class. So if you're ever curious, they're also going to show up in a different part in the Start Here module that I'm going to show you as well. Okay. Announcements is also a really important area, particular to the courses that I teach. I will send an announcement every single week to you, and that will have some overview of what we're going to do for that week, probably some reminders about what is due just in case. It will likely have additional materials for you to review that would help prepare you to be successful for your written assignments and or your quiz. And a lot of times in my video that I post to you every week, I will also put some extra credit opportunities in that video. So I invite you to always read your announcements from me as well as all of your teachers. And then also take a look at my videos, because I do put something in there that might be useful for you from an extra credit perspective or just from a preparation perspective throughout the term. Okay? And so again, some of these, I'm in the teacher view, so not all of these pages are available to you, but you'll always have the My Library link that links you to the e-library for Harrison College. So if you ever need to do any research, you may do that there. And then of course your grades. And so anytime you want to see your grade, you're going to submit all of your assignments in Canvas. I'm going to grade in Canvas. And so this is your ultimate way of knowing how you're doing in this course at any given time. Okay? So those are really the most important things that you need to know about navigating a blended course. For those of you that have taken online courses before, just note that we do not have discussion items in this particular course. Because we're meeting 11 weeks out of the 12, all of our discussions will be done face-to-face. So that's one area of a fully online class that you won't be doing in this particular blended course. We'll be having those discussions face-to-face with each other every week. Okay? So let's go back to modules. Again, modules are your friend, and there's a module for every week. I do want to make sure that we go over some of the salient points in the Start Here module, but then also make sure that you know that you can go through this module at any time at your convenience. Okay? So let's go to the welcome. This is just a sort of my commitment to you as a teacher in this particular course. I do have a video here that you can watch at any given time. And know that anytime you want to pan through a module, your easiest way to do that is just click the handy Next button here at the bottom. Note that if you are using the mobile version of Canvas, this Next button doesn't appear here. It appears differently in the application. I just want to let you know that. So if we click Next, here's an important page, and I would invite you to sort of look at this page often. This gives you 4 things that you need to know to be successful in this particular course. Again, a reminder about this being blended, tells you when we're going to meet. Make sure that you know that July 29th, our class is canceled. It lets you know that when we have unit exams assigned for the week, we will take that together in a lab at campus, and they will be open book. And we'll do that together. You will have to be present to take your exams. So I will not host makeup sessions. They'll have to be taken in person when everyone else takes the exam. It also reminds you that your attendance can be marked based on when you meet with us face-to-face, as well as when you participate online. And that participation online means that you have to have submitted something. So either a quiz that you've completed, an assignment that you have turned in, or a test that you have completed. Those are the 3 things that you can do in the Canvas system in this particular course that would show attendance, positive attendance for that particular day for you. Okay? So assignments and late work, I do take late work. I think it's really critical for me to understand as a teacher how you're doing in this course. And so I do accept late work because I want to know if you've mastered the concepts that you might have missed. Just understand that I do take a 10% penalty for every week that it's due. All of our assignments will be due on Sundays at midnight. They will not be due on Wednesdays when we meet in class. They will always be due on Sunday at midnight Eastern time. So if you had a deadline of Sunday midnight and you turned it in at 12:01, technically it would be late and a 10% penalty would apply for that entire following week. And sometimes I actually encourage students to actually take the extra time throughout that week to turn in a quality assignment so that you can maximize the 90% of points that you have left. So sort of keep that in mind. I don't require that they're turned in on Monday. They could technically be turned in by that Sunday at the following Sunday at midnight as well. Okay. So grading and how to contact me, you can reach me in several ways. You can call me, you can send me a message in Canvas, you can email me, text me, whatever you're most comfortable with. I'm here to support your journey, and the way that we communicate is entirely what you are most comfortable with. And all of those methods are listed in the syllabus that Abby handed out to you today, as well as in the People tab. If you were to click this tab right here, you would see my profile and my contact methods. And then, of course, up here in the top right-hand corner of your screen, you can send an email right in Canvas as well. Okay. In terms of how you will be evaluated in this course, our exams that we will take in person that will be open book will be 30% of your final grade. Your assignments and your weekly quizzes will be 60% of your final grade, and your project will be 10% of your final grade. Okay, so exams 30%, assignments plus quizzes 60%, and your project 10%. Okay, and we'll talk about that project in just one second. Here are my office hours. Just also know that I show up to class roughly 30 minutes prior to, so I should be here every Wednesday at 1 o'clock. Certainly feel free to come in early if you want to chat with me in person, or you can call me pretty much any time. Just would ask that students don't call me after 10 p.m. Eastern and before 8 a.m. Eastern. And of course, I can stay after class as well if you want to meet in person, whatever works best for you. So I post office hours, but just know that I'm available to you when I'm on campus as well, and we can certainly make other times work. I know that you all have busy schedules. Okay. So again, this is the 4 things you need to know to be successful in this course right here in your Start Here module, and you can access this at any time. Okay. So let's go to our next page in our Start Here module, and this is how to get help. If you're in the Canvas application and you're not sure how to do something, or it's not working the way that you think it will, you can go up here in the upper right-hand corner and click the Help button, and you can either chat with someone live or call them live or email them, whatever is best for you. Just know that Canvas support is available to you 24/7, 365 days a week. So 24 hours a day, every day, there is someone that will answer that phone or chat with you to help you through doing something in the Canvas system. Now, if it's a question about an assignment in terms of content, then you would want to come to me. But if it is a question about how to do something in Canvas, technical support will by far be the most available to you. And that's really how you want to sort of divide who you go to help for. Okay. You can also access your My Campus course in Canvas, and you can network or ask questions of your support services folks, your librarian, your registrar. All the folks in your Canvas community are connected into that My Campus course, and they are in Canvas and can help you either through Canvas or in person, of course. And of course, if you want to, you can start up a conversation, as I mentioned, sending an email in the Canvas system to me or to support. And then lastly, you can also access your original student orientation course whenever you like, if you need a refresher on how to do something. Okay, so those are really the 4 ways to get help as you're trying to navigate the Canvas system. In terms of course resources, you do need the Psych textbook, PSYCH. Everyone does need a copy of the textbook to be successful in this course. And so if you don't already have your textbook today in class, please make sure that you stop at the bookstore on your way out today and get your copy. If you need a couple of extra days to get that, or if it's being sent to you and it's late, what have you, I have put the first 3 chapters, electronic chapters here for you, as well as a sample from chapter 12. So these are electronic copies of the first 3 chapters, which should get you through the first couple of weeks if you need it. But also know that you will need a physical copy of your textbook in order to be successful in this course. Okay? So let's talk about the final project just very briefly. What you're going to do as a final project in this course is simulate that you are a psychologist. and you're going to write a profile of a fictitious person with a disorder that you're going to learn about. Each week, we learn concepts in psychology, and then you have a companion disorder that you're going to learn about. So every week you get content, general content about psychology, plus you learn about a disorder. So you're going to pick your favorite by week 6, and you're going to write a profile about that person suffering from those symptoms. Then you're going to propose a method of therapy that you would recommend to help that person be more successful in their life based on what you've been learning. And then you'll submit a final therapy plan for that person in week 10. And so notice here that there are 3 benchmarks, 3 sort of portions of the project that you will turn in. And this is really a method to keep you on track. At week 6, you'll have a portion of your final project due. At week 8, you'll have another final piece of your final project due, and then you'll submit your final in week 10. The nice thing about doing this in this way is I will be able to give you feedback during week 6 and during week 8 that will help you really submit an awesome project in week 10. So that's one of the other reasons that we do that, is so that you have the opportunity to get feedback along the way. Okay? So that's your final project. And so that is really the gist of the Start Here module, okay? And this actually, if you keep pressing that next button, it will take you into the weekly modules, but I want to show you how you do that. So if you were ready to start going through the week 1 module, you would scroll down to week 1 and notice that in each week there's an introduction page. Do you see that? Each week has an introduction page. This is a really critical thing for you to read, and I would recommend that you read it on Monday mornings, that you just set some time available, set it aside to read your introduction. It's going to clearly explain to you what the objectives are for the week and what you need to do to be successful. So for week 1, what you need to do is read chapter 1, and then read some pages from chapter 12. So that's why chapter 12 was loaded there for you, just in case you don't have your textbook. Chapter 1 is an introduction to psychology, and we're going to discuss just a couple of those points today. And then chapter 12, starting on page 285, is going to give you an introduction to psychological disorders, and it's going to take you right into the first disorder that you're going to learn about, which is anxiety disorders. Okay? So these are your reading assignments for this week that you will do outside of class. If you're interested in learning more about the experimental methods that are embedded in the science of psychology, you can click through here. And also know that at the end of each chapter, there's quite a few ways to help you study for your weekly quiz. So every week there is a quiz or a test. Quizzes are by far the they don't count as hard towards your grade because there's so many of them, so they're low point value, but make sure that you're doing your best. They are open book, and you'll complete those quizzes by Sunday at midnight as well, okay? So let's say that we have finished reading chapter 1 and that portion of chapter 12. We feel confident. We're ready to look at our first assignment. So here's our first assignment. It's really entitled Understanding Psychology. What we've done for your assignments is giving you templates that you can fill out for your assignment. And down here, note that there is a rubric assigned to your assignment. So if you look at the rubric, we're going to get to the actual document here in a second. A rubric is a way for you to know how you will be evaluated. So I'm going to look at the content and focus of your paper. I'm going to look and see if the ideas that you've presented are thought-provoking and engaging. I'm curious if your writing is organized, clear, and concise. And then lastly, I'm going to see if you've documented your sources using APA guidelines. So if you're unfamiliar with APA, you're going to get really comfortable with it in this particular course. I do require that you cite your sources both in the body of the narrative that you're writing, as well as at the end as listed under references. And so I'll be a little soft on this during weeks 1 and weeks 2, and then I'll sort of flip the switch and we'll need to be really competent in how we use APA by week 3. And I will give a quick lesson on that when we meet next week in person, and I'll demonstrate most specifically how you reference your textbook, because that will be by far the one that you use the most. And then we'll go over a couple of common other formats for different, sort of YouTube videos or other kinds of internet sources that you might use in this class, and show you how you would cite those as well. Okay, so this is how you'll be evaluated. So if you were ready to start your first assignment, you would click here on the hyperlink, and it's going to give you your template for your assignment. And in this particular assignment, you have 3 questions to answer. You're going to interview some friends or family and ask them what they think psychology is. And you're going to describe the 3 most interesting answers you received and explain why you thought those things were interesting. And then compare that to the official definition of psychology. Okay, so you'll have, basically 1/2 to 1 full page for each question, double spaced for each of these. Okay, so you could have up to 3 pages double spaced in answer to all 3 questions. Okay, so 1/2 to 1 page double spaced for each question is what is assigned. The second one is you'll research one of the major figures in psychology, and you will write about their achievements and include some of their most famous theories or perspectives. So there's some very popular names here that you can choose from and do research, whether it's in your textbook or online. Make sure you try to cite your sources. And again, I'll coach you on citing your sources as we go. The last thing you need to do is read the article on the Milgram experiment and talk about the ethical problems with the study. Also know at the end of the recordings that we do together today with Abby, she's going to show you a YouTube video on the Milgram experiment so that you'll have a nice foundation from which you can start writing that assignment as well. Okay, writing that page. So here's your written assignment for week 1. All you do is click through here, start typing, right, for each one of those. And you do that double spaced, 1/2 page to 1 page. So in all, it could be up to 3 pages double spaced. But if you're a very concise writer, it could be 1.5 pages double spaced. But your minimum is 1.5 pages double spaced. Okay? So once you're done with this, you would save it and then go back into the application and submit it. Go back into Canvas and submit it. Okay? So that's your first assignment. It is due this Sunday at 11:59 Eastern Time. Okay? Did that resonate with everyone? It's due this Sunday night. So today is Wednesday. So you have 4 more days to complete that assignment. And then you're going to go in and turn it in Canvas, just like you'll do every single week. Okay? And so it is due June 28th at 11:59 Eastern Time. Okay, so once you have done that, you can go and take your quiz. Just hit the take the quiz button once you've accessed it. Take the quiz. This is a relatively short quiz. There's no time limit, and it's only 15 points, so don't stress out about it. Just have your chapter 1 available to you and follow along and look up your answers and just simply answer the questions. Follow good test-taking strategies for multiple choice, which the majority of the questions are. Okay? And then once you have submitted your written assignment for week 1 and finished your quiz, you're all done for week 1. Again, this week, what you have due is 1 written assignment and 1 quiz by this Sunday night, 11:59 Eastern Time. Okay? So if you get stuck in Canvas, you know how to find help. You can either call, email, chat, whatever you decide is best for you. If you don't understand the content, you'll get in touch with me. Okay? So I would encourage you to spend some time with this. And what I've said to blended students in the past is, since we only meet 2 hours during the week, what I would suggest is that some of you just spend the other 2 hours on campus starting your work. And frankly, you could actually get most of your work done in the following 2 hours if you were very efficient. So you're going to spend between 4 to 6 hours a week on this class. That's really the net of it. Okay. And so that's really all that is. That's week 1. And again, all of your due dates are listed right here, right? So you can see clearly June 28th, these 2 things are due. The following week, we have 3 things due on Sunday, and we'll talk about that next week as well. Okay, so that's really the cadence of a blended course. I hope that made sense to you. We will continue to talk about Canvas over the first few weeks, and we'll also talk about APA over the first few weeks to get you acclimated. Don't panic if this feels really new to you. I'm here to help you. As I mentioned in the video prior to this, we've offered this class in blended before. Everyone survived. Everyone got really used to the cadence in the course. And frankly, everyone was really excited about it after they really got their bearings and understood how to submit assignments. And so it is a process. So give yourself a break in the first couple of weeks. Reach out if you need any help at all. I'm here to support you. Talk to you soon.